TMT Studios at MoEngage's Growth Summit in association with ET Brand Equity. Today we have with us Arvind Iyer, who is the Head of Marketing at Piramal Finance. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, let's start off with integrating technology for insight mining. At Piramal Finance, how are you utilizing emerging technologies to mine deep customer data and extract actionable insights?
So it's a very interesting question that you're asking me, because our customer segment is typically, the budget customer of Bharat. These are people who really make the country move. So what I mean by that is a Kirana store, let's say in Mahad, right, or a fireworks store in Sivakasi, or maybe somebody who's a salaried person with a proprietorship firm in maybe Muzaffarpur. I mean, that's the kind of person we are talking to. These are real people of Bharat who earn livelihoods and are growing the country and themselves. However, when it comes to accessing finance or getting access to financial instruments, it becomes really difficult for them, because they do not have the sort of paperwork that is normally deemed as what, let's say, in the banking and in the financial framework seems like stuff that they would need to provide. So we kind of bridge that gap, and we try to do that at scale. So really we want to be the lender who's the choice for the budget customer of Bharat, who has small wallet sizes, typically buys a house for around 15, 20, 30 lakhs. That's the sort of customer we are talking about. And we want to be able to be the lender for them, and therefore personalizing is super important, because there are different cohorts, there are different customers of different types from different parts of the country doing different things, right? So to be able to, one is have an overall voice that you're able to talk to them about what you can do for them, but other than that, be able to give really a personalized sense of how you can get them to come on board, because these are customers who believe they don't get a loan. उनको वो बोलते हैं कि हमें loan कौन देगा?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So really we want to break that inertia. So for that we need to be able to address every single customer who's out there. So personalization is absolutely at the very core, and we really use a lot of tools and technology to be able to mine that information. And within the MarTech stack, having, like, let's say, things like a campaign management module, or things that are more customer variables, behavior oriented information that we can infuse from various sources is stuff that we really try and do on a day-to-day basis, and we are continuously improving that.
All right, and when it comes to personalization on scale, right, we see food delivery apps doing it, OTT platforms doing it. It's interesting how now BFSI sector is also pivoting towards that.
Yeah, that's also because, so if you look at our category of lending, it's unlike e-commerce, it's not a behavior that's going to keep getting them to come back every day. So the frequency is fairly low, but at the time when there is the need for a lending instrument, then there is a lot of transactional anxiety. But at the times that there isn't, we must figure out a way to engage with the customers. And I think really engagement is the key for being able to at least stay relevant for this customer, whether or not they are in a relationship with you. So and it's a very real insight, because today's customers really care about their credit history and their credit worth, and just overall they know their money. It's just about they really need information and access to how do they really navigate this path, and being able to give that to them in forms that they're very familiar with, which is very dominant of their behavior, right? So whether it's social or it's video or other ways in which they're consuming content today, if we're able to permeate and make ourselves relevant in those forms, then I'm saying personalization and doing that in the context of what they want becomes scalable to do.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that has an impact on your CLV as well. Thank you for sharing that.
And NPS as well. So
absolutely. Now it's time for a fun segment. We want to do a rapid fire with you.
All right.
All right. So let's go for the first question. If you had a magic wand and could erase one marketing challenge in 2024, which one would that be?
Oh, I would try and get anything that I can find on consumer behavior in an analytic shape, where I can pretty much plug and play into our ecosystem and let it be available.
You want all data to be scrapable in that case, I understood. All right, Gen AI and banking, Marcoms, yay or nay?
I think a big yes. We need to figure how you can use it. I think it just applies across. I think just being able to use the power of it is super important. We do a lot with it today, but really we're trying to push the envelope. It's a great capability, irrespective of whatever people say, hallucination, etc. But if you figure out a way to kind of use
Put those checks in place.
Put those checks in place and have a governance mechanism, I'm pretty sure you can do stuff, at least with the text-based stuff.
Yeah,
right?
you can do a lot more in like seconds now.
Yeah.
What's the most important point marketers in FinServe don't understand about customer engagement?
I wouldn't say don't understand. I think having deeper empathy and really talking to the customer, just like how I'm having a conversation with you, right? So whether the customer comes through to us via a digital way or is walking into a branch, really wouldn't matter. I mean, striking up that conversation and really understanding that person and the ability to turn that into stories can go a long way for a lot of people.
Yeah, and that way you kind of take charge of the narrative as well.
Yeah.
Now rank these in the order of importance: right message, right timing, right channel. Right message, right timing, right channel.
Right message would be definitely first. And you said, sorry.
Right timing, right channel.
Right channel, right timing.
All right. And if you could pick one superpower to have as a marketer, which one would that be?
I don't know, maybe the ability to have millions of conversations with people.
Okay.
So, like, I'd love to know every single customer of mine and know what they do and, what their deliberations are and what they're aspiring for. If I could have that one superpower, then it's like Bruce Almighty, the way, like, God, he could pretty much listen to everybody. So that, I mean,
then I'm living your dream because I have hundreds of conversations, many of them very interesting, such as this one. Thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. For me also. Thank you so very much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.